All right, so this video is going to show you guys how to work on your texture tiles at home. So you're going to be creating one in class with me where we use the slab roller, we're going to use pre-recycled clay, we're going to use the texture tools that I have in class. However, when you guys are working at home, you're not going to have the tools that I have. So I'm going to show you how to do it with just tools that I found around my house and outside. So you're going to have clay from me. So what you're going to do is make sure that it's wedged unless it's straight from the bag. If it's dried out and you've had to recycle it, it has to be wedged. Okay, and then you're just going to flatten it out to start off with. Because we're going to be rolling it out. I have rolling pins in class. When you're at home, you're going to have to find something else to roll it out with. So if you notice, I'm not working on newspaper, I'm working on notebook paper because I don't have newspaper at home, so I just grab notebook paper. Okay, then for my rolling pin, I found a glass, so I'm going to use that for my rolling pin. Now the slab rollers we used in class are going to make it nice and even, and they're going to do that without us trying very much. We are going to have to make sure that we kind of pick it up, turn it, and make sure that it's flattened out. We don't want it too thin. You want about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, you're not going to be able to measure 1/4 inch when you're at home if you don't have a ruler, so we're going to work this as if you really don't have any tools at home. All right, so once I have it rolled out pretty flat, you can see I made a dent when I dropped my glass. Let's see what the other side. The other side looks a little bit better for me. And you'll see that the notebook paper lines are kind of picking up on this because they're water soluble. So the clay's going to pick that up, but when it fires, it's not going to show up at all. Then we're going to make about 4-inch squares. But when I roll this out, what I'm going to do is just kind of pick the width here. I can't make it any wider because I can't make a square out of it. So I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. So I know that my width has to be that. And then to make a square, I just take notebook paper and just fold it up at a 90-degree angle. So all I really have to do is line it back up with that top notebook paper line. Okay, so I'm going to put it down so I can use a little bit more coordination here. Okay, then I'm going to cut this. So now I have my template. When you do this in class, I provide templates for you guys to use. When you're at home, this is all stuff that you guys should have at home. If you don't have a pair of scissors, I'm going to show you guys how to cut the paper without scissors. Okay, so now I have a perfect square ready to go. Now, if I don't have a pair of scissors at home, I still fold it over, but then what you do is crease it again and just kind of fold that crease back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then your paper is going to tear along that line that you already have. So is it a perfect cut? No, but it's good enough for you guys to get this cut. So as you can tell, the work that you guys do in class is going to be a little bit more precise. My requirements for craftsmanship and precision are going to be higher. You see I already messed that side up a little bit. That's okay, we're still going to go with it. All right, so if my square doesn't quite fit on here, I might roll this out just a little bit more. And if you don't move it at all on the paper, it will start sticking to the paper. So make sure you move it as you go. So now my square fits on here. Now in class, we would cut with either a pizza cutter or a needle tool. I'm gonna use a butter knife because that's what I have at home. So then I'm gonna hold it straight up and down because we want a flat edge, and I'm just gonna cut right through it. And then bag up any of your extra clay because we'll be using it for another project. So I'm going to cut all 4 sides. That was a pretty messy cut over there, so I'll show you how to fix that. All right, now when I look at that, I have that deep gouge right there. I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to put that paper back on for a straight line. And then I'm just going to kind of cut that smoothly because I'm reaching over with my non-dominant side. There we go. So I smooth that out a little bit. Okay. Then I just take a little bit of water. So water cups, you guys use anything at your house. Clay washes out of all of your materials. Just make sure you ask your parents before you guys use anything. So I just take literally a drop of water, not a lot. I'm going to smooth out my sides because it's easier to do it now before I get all the textures on there, and then I might end up smashing my textures. Now once I get the big chunks kind of smoothed out on here, then I can even take a spoon. Okay, and I can take that spoon along the edges, and that's going to kind of flatten that out too. Now the requirements for your texture tile are to have 3 textures gonna smooth this out a little bit more, and I can even take my spoon here. All right, so again, your requirements are to have 3 textures and to have pattern created by a repetition of designs. So I can even take something like my fork and create a design with it. So if I want to create a pattern with this, I can press it into the clay or I can carve it. I like to press it, it makes cleaner lines. And then maybe I'm just going to have this one coming across like this. So I'm creating this pattern by repeating my design of my imprinted fork pattern. Okay, so that's something I had in my house. I went outside, I found some cool weeds, actually right outside the school. So if I want to use something like this, I can roll it with my plate, or excuse me, with my cup. I can roll it with, say, a marker and see what that looks like. And I'm going to just press it into the clay, and then I'm going to lift it back up, and that's going to create an impression on there. And I can do multiple pieces like that. Maybe I want to have quite a few of them. So I've already created 2 textures just from things that I'm finding around the house, and I didn't need to bring any tools home from the school at all. Now I kind of like that one over on this side, and I actually made a texture with my marker. So if I don't want to keep that, I can smooth that out with a spoon, or I can keep it and just kind of go with it. That's what's going to happen when you're at your house. If you make a mistake, you're just going to have to make it work. I might create one more on this side just to create some balance so I have the same thing on both sides. And I'm going to try not to let my marker smash my other design. Okay, then I grab some rocks. So I could create an edge on it. You don't have to do the edge like this, but if I want to make it look like it's a little rough, I can press my rock into the edge. You just want to be careful not to press it so thin that you're not going to be able to have it survive and bring it in. Because we're going to be glazing these. Sorry, I'm over the top. We're going to be glazing these and possibly staining them if they survive making it to the school. Now, I like that how it looks natural. I don't really like the fork look, so I'm going to go over that with some rocks to kind of blend it in a little bit more. Okay, so now when you guys are turning this in, you're either going to be turning it in person, or you might just be snapping a digital picture of it and sending that to me. And you would say, I created 3 textures. The first one is with weeds that I pressed in. I pressed in my fork and I stamped it with a rock. So that's 3 textures right there. If you are in class, I will remind you, but if you're at home, I would highly suggest that you write your name on the back of it. Now, you can do that with a needle tool, or you can do that with a pencil. I don't have a pencil handy. I'm going to try it with my butter knife here. We'll see if that works. So for mine, I'm just going to put A English. And then for you guys, I do want you to put your class period. So even if it's, say, 4, put 4, and then whether you're blue or silver. So you might be 4th hour blue day. That way when I fire these, I can put them on the right cart and have them ready to go for you guys, so we're not spending our class time looking for objects. So again, you're going to make 1 tile with me in class, and then you're going to make 1 tile at home. All of the supplies can be improvised at home. However, if you do want to purchase tools, pottery tools, you can go on Amazon and buy them. I think Hobby Lobby has them, but they take quite a while to ship, so just be aware of that. It is not required, but suggested. It makes your life a little bit easier if you can get your own tools. Otherwise, you make it work with what you have at home.